You're watching this video because we're making you do something that nobody likes to do. Make a change. But the reality is that some change is actually good, and we believe that the changes that we're making here are going to be really good for you and for the leaders on the ground who are serving. Before I get into the details of actually what's changing and why we're changing, it's really important that you know one thing. We're actually not changing. We're actually changing back. What some of you old-timers already know is that for most of our 85 years, we actually didn't register units by program. We actually registered individuals in each of those programs. And then one of the benefits that those leaders would get was a magazine that would come to their mailbox at home. So a chairman was actually required to fill out a form like this, by hand, with ink, and then send it in via the postal service. Very old school. But you got a benefit from that. Well, around 1996, the powers that be decided that we weren't going to be registering individuals anymore. We were going to be registering units. When you register, you're going to be selecting from one of 3 different tiers, and those tiers are each just based upon the number of leaders that you anticipate serving that season. We know that at the beginning of a season especially, you may not know exactly who's going to be serving, and that's fine. Just do the best you can to anticipate. We can change that as we move forward together. But once you've done that, you've purchased a package of access for each of those leaders, and you just send an invitation to them, and now they have access to everything that the Brigade Leader online system has to offer, including things like training, the e-magazine, resources, the discussion forum. All of those benefits are going to be described in a separate video that just goes through that in a little bit more detail. But you get a lot for what you're purchasing. Before I conclude, I do want to say just a few things about the pricing itself. Our goal was that on average, our units wouldn't see any significant difference one way or the other in terms of annual pricing. But we are basing this on the number of leaders who are participating. And so some of you are going to see a decrease in the annual registration cost. And some of you, like my unit, are going to see a fairly significant increase. I'm okay with that because I recognize that what we're going to be getting is a lot of resources for our leaders to better equip them to serve. Another thing that I think is really important, I didn't realize this until I was told so. Since 1996, Christian Service Brigade has only raised our annual registration fee 1 time. I hope I don't need to say any more about that. Maybe that wasn't the best business practice, but it's the truth. And so at this point, I think what we're doing is we are moving forward in such a way that the pricing is going to be more appropriate to serving you and giving us the ability to serve and provide the tools that you really need on the ground every week.